Today's video or more voiceover is going to be about Harry Potter. There seems to be no words to describe how much I love this universe, and I totally refuse to believe that it's not real. Well, obviously it's not, but I still refuse to. Harry Potter came into my life when I was around 10 or 11 years old. It was my birthday, and one of my friends brought a DVD with her. It was called Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets. Before that, I never heard about Harry Potter, maybe because I didn't had much friends, maybe because some other interests that I had, which wasn't reading. But anyway, Harry Potter came into my life through that DVD. To say that I was in awe would be understatement. I instantly fell in love with this movie and I wanted to watch some more, but first I wanted to read a first book. That was like a revelation to me. The world of wizards, the whole new world, so different from that crappy one I lived in, full of adventures, interesting classes, cozy house rooms, friendship, and of course magic. Everything is covered in magic, soaked in magic. I couldn't stop reading that first book. I think I finished it in 3 days, approximately. Then I'm flipping the pages. Then I watched the movie and I really liked it too. I can't tell you now how many times I reread it or rewatched this first movie and the first book. I got all covered up like a blanket with Harry Potter. I started associating myself with some characters from this universe. Despite the fact that I really wanted to be like Hermione, I think I was and still am Neville. Not like there is something wrong with that. I mean, we all know what's wrong with Neville and how beautifully he transforms after the first troubles that he faced. After the first movie, there was a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and I remember how I was waiting for the final part, how nerve-wracking it was. I first decided to watch it in cinema, which was probably a mistake because I didn't know what was gonna be in a movie, and then read a book, and oh my God, how hard I cried. I still can't forgive J.K. Rowling that she killed Fred. He was one of my favorite characters, so was Remus, Sirius, Tonks, Dobby, of course. I thought then, what a necessary and tragic death. Fred was what kept George going, in my opinion. As we were growing up, the books started to get darker. Rowling introduced us to hate, betrayal, death. We were all together in this. After last movie, I was absolutely shattered. I felt broken. Like I lost piece of me, like there is a hole in my soul. Harry Potter is finished, no more movies, no more books. That's when I turned into fan fiction. And then I realized that if I really wanted and needed it, Harry Potter will always be with me. This wizarding world will always welcome me. After all, help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it. And Hogwarts and whole wizarding world is here in all of us. We can find it and never let go. There's also a lot more to Harry Potter than magic. Here are 9 life lessons, or maybe less, that I learned while reading the books and watching a movie. First is true friendship can get you through everything. An unlikely trio to begin with, Harry, Ron, and Hermione proved time and time again that real friendship forges an unbreakable bond. Together they managed to face Dementors and Death Eaters, Dolores Umbridge, and Horcruxes, not to mention the truly horrifying pitfalls of teenage life, relationship problems, jealousy, and school exams. With true friends, it doesn't matter if you argue over a possibly jinxed new broomstick or accidentally swallow a love potion, because at the end of the day, they'll always have your back. Second thing I learned is that bravery comes in many forms. Harry had to summon up all of his courage when he sought out Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest, but that wasn't the only kind of bravery we saw throughout the books. Whether you stand up to your friends because they break in the rules like Neville did, or take a leaf out of Hermione's book and fight for what you believe in, these were all demonstrations of courage and fortitude. A third thing I learned is that people can surprise you. The old saying, "Never judge a book by its cover," has been trotted out hundreds of times, and yet all too often we don't really appreciate its meaning. Making a snap judgment about someone is a risky business, as these books have shown us. A towering half-giant could turn out to be a loyal, kind, and gentle friend, while a stuttering, nervous teacher may be a harboring Voldemort in his turban. A dark, bitter potion master may sacrifice everything to right a wrong for the love of his life, and even a paragon of wisdom like Dumbledore could have a complicated past. People aren't always what they seem. Well, almost nothing is in the wizarding world, and that's an important lesson to remember. It's okay to ask for help. Harry was often loath to ask for help, even when he really needed it. Whether that was working out what a clue meant during the Triwizard Tournament or tracking down a long-lost diadem, his first reaction was often to try and do things alone. Born out of good intentions, this attitude is nonetheless crippling in the right circumstances, and luckily, Harry came to realize that although there are some battles that you need to fight alone, there are others that you can't. Besides, your friends want to help you if they can, and might surprise you when they do. Ron speaking Parseltongue, anyone? Heartbreak is sometimes inevitable. It's sad, but it's true. Just as Harry and Cho, Lavender and Ron, and Lily and Snape showed us, sometimes things don't work out the way we'd like them to. You might suffer a broken heart through unrequited love, or lose those who love most. The books also show us that life goes on, people recover and forge ahead, and even death isn't something to be feared. It is, as Dumbledore so eloquently said, but the next great adventure, which terrifies me. I'm afraid of death. But true love lasts always. Love is a strong theme throughout the books. If you love someone completely, it can never be undone. Lily's love for Harry granted him protection, and Snape's love for Lily shaped his path after her death. True love lasts forever. Just because a person dies doesn't mean our love for them does. A comforting lesson we can take heart in. Money isn't everything. Harry may have inherited a whole vault of gold from his parents, but it couldn't buy him the thing he perhaps yearned for the most, the family that was lost to him. On the flip side of the coin, Ron had grown up wearing and using hand-me-downs in a household that was constantly worrying about costs, but his home was full of love and life. He may have been jealous of Harry's status and wealth, but Harry envied Ron's big family and happy home. It just goes to show, at the end of the day, money really isn't everything. Face your fears. However scary it may seem, sometimes we have to face our fears to get what we want. Poor Ron had to follow the spiders to find a cure for Hermione after her run-in with Basilisk, and Harry had to deal with his terror of Dementors. Ginny had to face her fear of actually talking to Harry, to actually get him to notice her, and Mrs. Weasley faced her biggest fear of all, losing a member of her family. Sometimes the only way is the hardest way, and it's times like this that we find out what we're really made of.